What's up, everybody? This is Insane Rabbi coming at you here with another HoNReplays.org tournament gamecast. Today, though, not just any tournament. This is, of course, quarterfinals, GameReplays.org Invitational. This is for $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. I am completely and absurdly excited to cast this game. Coming here with me, though, of course, today is my very good friend Con88. Say hello to the crowd.
Hello, crowd. How's it going?
And I'm sure he's excited to be here. We are all so excited to just see this fantastic game. I actually was really looking forward to seeing how this game was going to play out. It's 5 versus UQ. 5 not necessarily playing as well as they can over the last few tournaments, and UQ coming on strong. I believe taking tournament 7, they took it down completely. They won that one, and other than that, making a strong performance basically throughout the entire season. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how these two teams play against each other. Colin, any idea on that?
Yeah, well, just as you're saying, as everybody's excited, the teams definitely look pretty excited. Those bans, they're probably the fastest bans I've ever seen. UQ definitely knew exactly what they're doing. Instant banning Slither, and then instantly banning Ophelia. Oh no, sorry, that was 5 at first pick. And a Curse Defiler and Hellbringer, so, you know, pretty standard bans there, really strong heroes. An interesting ban that I thought, you know, everybody would be banning in this tournament is Poliwag, and instead 5 first pick Poliwag Priest. So I'm going to, like, straight away, I think Poliwag Priest is the strongest hero in the game at the moment. You know, 5 already have that advantage. And then a second pick Engineer, Plague Rider and Engineer from UQ. A weird first pick from Plague Rider. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Plague Rider. I don't think he's first pick material. Same with, or second pick material, Engineer. I don't know, it's kind of any two weird picks from UQ. What do you think, Rabbi?
Well, Plague Rider, you know, a lot of people love the Plague Rider ban or first pick. I'd have to agree with you. I think it's a little weak. There's no problem taking him 4 or 5 or just letting the other team grab him. But obviously a lot of the community would disagree with that statement. I'm not going to sit here and argue the math. But the second pick Engineer, actually, if you notice the play style over the last few weeks, Engineer went from a 5th pick random, like, haha, we have an Engineer, like kind of a situational thing, to sometimes even a ban. And I believe he's got probably over the last few tournaments and some other things, you know, if you watch ESL and stuff like that, Engineer gets played or banned 95% of games. So he's actually getting up there. That ultimate is just so huge, and the keg, the stun is relatively long. It's a long range stun, and it's a very low mana cost. On top of not only great initiation off of a portal key and great teamfight capabilities with his ult, great ganking capabilities with his keg, but he's got a turret that can carry like a monster. So he basically does it all. It's like a super pestilence that goes portal key and then shrunken head, and you expect him to come in and carry. Well, Engineer does kind of the similar role, except probably better all around everything. And on top of that, he can push towers thanks to Tinker. So just a really malleable hero, which is why a lot of teams don't mind taking him as a 1-2, maybe even a 3 at latest in today's metagame.
Yeah, something I think is really strong is Tinker, and ever since it got buffed, you know, half dozen patches ago when he didn't have to channel it, it's been extremely strong for just you know, destroying towers really fast. We can see that the 4th pick sorry, 3rd, 4th pick Wretched Hag and Magnus, and a Soul Stealer and Angry Tessie. That's going to be great. Something I love watching is Soul Stealer. I think Soul Stealer is one of the greatest heroes. He's a really good early game hero and mid game hero, and I think the more mid game heroes you have, the more exciting the game is, because everything happens in the mid game, really, all the ganks and all the pushes. So it's good to see Angry Testy picking up Poliwag Priest. He swaps Sebusa, who is looped, I'm told. He's KT doing the picks for 5 at the moment. But yeah, so that's 5's team there. I have to say I do like it, just solely on them having Poliwag. I think Poliwag is like extremely strong. Although Engineer's kind of really nice. The Tinker can buff your own tower, maybe stop the Poliwag's Priest's turrets from marching over those towers. What do you think?
Definitely. A lot of people underestimate the defensive capability of Engineer, speeding up the turret, or the defensive tower, excuse me, and of course laying his turret down in the middle of a tower push. You know, when they're pushing on you, it's just that much extra damage that they have to deal with. Something interesting to note: we do have 5 ranged heroes from 5. Lane control going to be quite aggressive on the auto attack harassment, and we have 2 healers, and we have Glacius. So you're looking at a lot of spells that are going to be casted, a lot of auto attack harassment. Interesting strat. You know, the lanes are going to be a bit funky, but it almost doesn't matter what you run because you have 5 ranged heroes. Soul Stealer you would assume to solo, but you may also see him in lane with Glacius, which has been done before, but is obviously not ideal. You want Soul Stealer grabbing those early levels, so we'll see what the lanes are. You may even see Glacius as a roamer or something like that. I don't even know. And then on top of that, we go back over to UQ. We have, you know, Mag Pyro, pretty standard. Engineer, Plague, and Hag. Well, Engie can potentially solo. Hag can potentially solo, probably going to solo Hag in all honesty, but yet again,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what these lanes are going to be. Engineer Plague, maybe, with Plague doing a lot of
Mhm.
pulls or something. It's going to be interesting. Both teams not necessarily going with the most standard of lane combos, but, you know, the mid game, let's take a look at how these team fights are going to, you know, unravel. We have Plague ult, Pyro Mag, Chain Stun, AoE stuff, and then of course Mag ult. Hag, AoE, and then AoE ult, Engineer his ult, and Keg. So I'm going to have to go ahead and give them a huge advantage over merely Polywog, Priest, Wards, and Soul Stealer doing what he can. But obviously the longer Soul Reaper is alive in these team fights, the more in their favor it's going to be. So, oh man, it's just so crazy. It's going to really, I think, a lot of the time come down to how well Soul Reaper can stay alive. But we do have, and I believe Custodian, you were trying to message someone else. The format here is 2 out of 3. It is not best of 1. So this is only the first game. Neither team probably want to show their ace in the hole strategy, but instead trying to play relatively standard with maybe a little bit of variance, something that, you know, showing something we're not necessarily used to, such as 5 ranged coming from 5. We do have Polywog Priest coming in with 3 minor totems and Runes the Blight, so he's going to be going for that quick bottle. Soul Stealer going bottom with Glacius. Rabbi's amazing. He goes ahead and he called the exact lanes that they're going to run.
And
You
looks
know,
like
and
Polywog
obviously this
solo as
is,
well.
yeah, Polywog solo is going to be solid. That's going to be such a fast level 6, so huge. We have Wretched Hag coming in on top, Engineer mid, Plague, and Mag. I don't know where they're going. It looks like Pyro Mag are going to go bottom lane. That's going to be the far lane for Hellborn. They're actually going to have a pretty easy time against that Soul Stealer, in my opinion. Question is, how well can Glacius babysit him and not put himself in danger from the dual stun combo? We have Plague Engineer going in mid, and Wretched Hag is going to solo top. So, you know, changing up the simple 2-1-2 that everybody likes to run. Not this game, ladies and gentlemen. We have a 1-2-2 coming from the Hellborn, and an interesting solo, or not solo, Soul Stealer on bottom. He'll be laning with Glacius, so it'll be nice to see how that plays out for him. Expect Soul Stealer to probably go more into the nukes and play it as almost a caster lane, where Glacius is going to have a stun, a slow, and Soul Stealer at level 3 is going to have 450 in nukes off of his his ZXC combo in Dota. It's QWE in this. But we do have Soul Stealer, Demented Shaman coming, or Soul Reaper, Demented Shaman coming up top against Wretched Hag. And then we have Polly in mid against Engineer Plague. I mean, just how do you think these lanes are going to pan out, Con? Do you think Soul Reaper, Demented Shaman's going to really crush that Hag top, or is he still going to be able to farm? And then same with Polly, you know, is he going to have to watch out for the slow stun combo, 2 individual ranged heroes in mid?
Yeah, I think that both the solo lanes for both teams, they're not going to be doing great. Wretched Hag, not as good a solo as Queen of Pain was in Dota, I don't think. She's just got a worse attack animation, and she doesn't really have great base damage to start off with. So to solo well, I think you really need Maiden to whore off bottles and stuff like that, and just such a strong abusive lane from Soul Reaper and Demented Shaman. Mid, pretty much the same thing. Polywog's not a very strong solo mid, I don't think. I might be wrong. I haven't had a lot of experience with